Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
What an evening for baseball in the city of Milwaukee. Beautiful Monday night, and we are set over here at Miller Park to bring you the first of a three-game series between the hottest team in baseball, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Brewers, in dire need of some home cooking here at Miller Park. Bronson Arroyo and Giovanni Gallardo will go toe-to-toe on the rubber. Arroyo and the Reds have had Yo and the Brewers' numbers so far in 2012. Giovanni Gallardo hoping to change all that here in game one of this series. Hi, everybody. Our coverage of Brewers baseball continues on Fox Sports Wisconsin alongside Davey Nelson. I'm Craig Kashan, and after a couple of rough starts in a row where Giovanni Gallardo gave up 11 earned runs, he looked outstanding in his last start against Houston. 7 strong innings, just 1 earned run. That's the pace he'd like to set here against Cincinnati tonight.
Well, that's right, and he wants to be consistent, and it was good that in that last start he faced a team after 2 bad outings, faced a team, the Houston Astros, that he's dominated. Went in there with a lot of confidence. Boy, was he sharp. He had good fastball, good location, had a great breaking ball, and was just, like I said, dominating. He's got to take that into that performance into tonight's game.
All right, we'll see if Yo's got the confidence boost. We've got the new kid on the block. It's debut night for the shortstop of the future. B.A. Rock set up Gene Segura's first game as a Brewer when we come back.
It is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Back at Miller Park and making his Brewers debut tonight, Gene Segura. He was the key piece in the Zach Greinke trade. He is in the lineup. straight up from Double-A Huntsville. He'll be batting 8th and playing shortstop tonight, his first game in the big leagues. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park, Milwaukee. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you with us tonight. I think everybody's excited to see what they get in return for Zach Greinke. The Brewers, in fact, got 3 players, 2 of them still down in Double-A as pitchers, but Gene Segura was the top prospect that the Brewers received, and because Cesar Izturis is now headed to the Washington Nationals, it is Segura's time.
And the reports are that he's got all the ability as a natural second baseman, still learning how to play shortstop, and he's going to take his lumps. I think the fact that the Brewers are in the position that they are in the standings, you get an opportunity to bring the young man up, see what he can do. All the pressure is off of him pretty much. I think it's all self-inflicted what he puts on himself. But again, he's got all the tools. He's got to settle in, give him an opportunity to play, and we'll see what he has.
He's wearing number 9. Remember, he was an A-ball this time last year. The 22-year-old Segura at shortstop tonight. Brewers, Reds, the division leaders and the best record in all of baseball. It's Giovanni Gallardo to match up against the new Big Red Machine. Game 1 coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Giovanni Gallardo gets the task tonight facing the Cincinnati Reds. It'll be Gallardo against Bronson Arroyo. See his July numbers, a .338 earned run average, and he'll be making a start in August, trying to get off to a good start this month for Giovanni Gallardo. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Mark Concannon, our reporter tonight. And there is Dusty Baker, and his ball club is on some kind of roll right now and doing a lot of it without their star, their MVP candidate, Joey Votto. Reds are 66-42, the best record in all of baseball coming into play tonight. And here is Dusty Baker's starting lineup, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Zach Cozart leads off, Drew Stubbs, Brandon Phillips. Middle of the order is Jay Bruce, Ryan Ludwig, and Scott Rowland. Todd Frazier, Ryan Hannigan, and Bronson Arroyo rounded out. Brandon Phillips returning to the lineup, been dealing with a calf injury, And you see the numbers on Giovanni Gallardo, who makes his first start in the month of August here tonight, looking for his 10th win of the season.
And it was a pretty good month of July for Yo. 6 starts, a 3-2 record, and a .338 earned run average. Last time out, he beat the Astros right here at Miller Park. 1 run in 7 innings. A 4-5 career record against the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, there is Gene Segura. Had 1 big league game with the Angels, making his Brewers major league debut here tonight. And you wonder what's going through his mind as he gets the starting nod and what many feel the shortstop of the future here in Milwaukee. First pitch from Gallardo is in there for a strike, and away we go. Zach Cozart leads off for Cincinnati. And just not too long ago, Zach Cozart was receiving all of those accolades and was in that discussion as the next shortstop, and Cozart has done a nice job in that role. He got a cup of coffee last year before an injury knocked him out for the remainder of the season, but he's been the opening day shortstop this season, has been there ever since.
Yeah, the big difference is Cozart's always been a shortstop. You know, Segura is moving from second base over to short. He's going to take his lumps, but he's very athletic over there in the infield.
Line drive right field, and it'll be Aoki to make the catch for the out. 1 away for Gallardo in the first. Just give you the rest of the Brewers defensively. You've seen Aoki in right, Gomez in center, and Braun in left field tonight. Around the horn, it's Aramis Ramirez, Gene Segura, Ricky Weeks, and Corey Hart. And Martin Maldonado behind the plate does the catching for Gallardo, the Menards Brewers defense. Here's Drew Stubbs. 14 homers, 36 driven in. Last time we saw Stubbs, he was hitting near the bottom of the order, but Dusty Baker has him back in the 2 spot. Tried him as a leadoff hitter over the last couple of years, and now that Cozart is on the scene, looks like a pretty good spot for him.
Yeah, Stubbs has flourished, and one of the guys that has been able to pick up the slack in the absence of Joey Votto. Ryan Ludwig, another one. Everybody has to pick it up a notch when your MVP is on the disabled list.
Cincinnati has won 9 consecutive road games, longest in the National League this season. They're coming off a series win against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They did lose yesterday. A.J. Burnett and the Pirates defeated the Cincinnati Reds. But you see the numbers Rock's talking about. Since Votto went down, Stubbs hitting .338, and he's provided some power as well. Amazingly, this ball club is 16-4 without Joey Votto.
And Cincinnati wondering who is going to pick up the slack, and they all have done a good job of that. Offense has been very good for Cincinnati lately. Pitching and defense has been good all year.
Bouncing ball to short. Segura's first chance as a Brewer. No problem. Out number 2. Probably glad to get that one over with.
Yeah, it was a long day for Segura. You would figure coming up here and getting ready, getting to the clubhouse, trying to get that first chance out of the way. That calms everybody down. As long as you don't make an error, everything settles down right after that. Good job handing it into the glove, and a good throw to first base. So his Brewers career is officially underway.
Well, Segura was putting up good numbers in Huntsville. He's definitely a hitter, and that's what has put him through the minor league system, whether it be the Angels or the Brewers, so quickly. Just 22 years of age. And Segura, at the time of his call-up, hitting .433 in Huntsville in just 8 games with 4 runs batted in. Brandon Phillips back in the lineup for the Cincinnati Reds tonight. He's been out with a calf injury. Phillips had a calf strain on Tuesday, and he has not played since.
Well, you knew he wanted to be in the lineup tonight. Look at those numbers against Milwaukee this year.
Ball and a strike on Brandon Phillips. 1-2.
Yeah, Gallardo's last start, he had a fastball. You know, that was very good. He only allowed the 1 run in 7 innings. He was able to locate his fastball very well, and his curveball was down for strikes. 2 starts before that, not very good for Yo. He gave up 11 runs in those 2 starts and both losses.
Well, this is a much different looking lineup without Joey Votto, but it is still a ball club that has been able to win primarily because of their pitching and specifically because of their relief pitching. They made a big acquisition both literally and figuratively, and Jonathan Broxton, he now sets up for Aroldis Chapman, former closer in Kansas City, as Gallardo strikes out Brandon Phillips. And a 1-2-3 start for Giovanni Gallardo. Brewers are coming up against Arroyo. Park. Beautiful weather in Milwaukee. Just a quick 3-game homestand for Ron Renneke and the Brewers after a quick 3-game road trip, and the Brewers losing 3 in a row in St. Louis. Look at their wounds coming back off a very tough series against a division opponent. There's the Piggly Wiggly batting order today for Ron Renneke. Nori Aoki leads off, then Gomez followed by Braun. Middle of the order is Ramirez, Hart, and Weeks. Maldonado, Segura, and Gallardo rounded out.
Well, Bronson Arroyo making his 25th career start against the Brewers. He's 13-8. He's won his last 3 starts and 4 of his last 5, so he's been throwing the baseball pretty well.
Nori Aoki leads off for Milwaukee, and the first pitch in there for strike 1. Aoki comes in with a .282 average, 6 home runs, 25 driven in. His bat has cooled a little bit lately, and Ron Renneke's been giving Aoki some days off, just trying to get him a little mental and physical rest to get through this time of the schedule. Aoki thought he was in the doghouse through his interpreter. Renneke had a chat with Aoki, so that's not the case. Just a long season. Bouncer to Roland, the 8-time Gold Glover, makes a play for out number 1. Here's how the Reds line up defensively. Typically a lot of baseballs in play against Arroyo. Ryan Ludwig, Drew Stubbs, and Jay Bruce in the outfield, with Roland, Cozart, Phillips, and Frazier around the horn. Frazier been doing most of the starting at first base for Joey Votto. Ryan Hannigan, the catcher. Menards Reds defense.
And they are very strong up the middle. Hannigan behind home plate, Cozart and Phillips up the middle, and Drew Stubbs can run them down. It's the tied for 3rd best defense in the National League, this Reds club. And both of these teams playing pretty well defensively. Well, the Brewers had 4 errors on Friday, but other than that, they have been playing very good defensively.
Carlos Gomez back in the 2-hole tonight. 4 for 12 on the road trip was Gomez, and is currently on a 7-game hitting streak, hitting .357 during that modest streak. quickly ahead. 3 balls, no strikes. Gomez swinging away 3-0 and a high fly ball to left. Ludwig will run it down. That's the thing about Bronson Arroyo. Even on a 3-0 count, he will take a little off. He'll add, subtract. He does things to disrupt timing so well. It really doesn't matter what the count is.
Yeah, he'll do everything but blow the fastball by it. He very rarely, if ever, gets up to 90 miles an hour. He'll change arm angles, and Ryan Renke giving Gomez the green light, trying to get on the board quickly.
So with Ryan Braun coming up, we check the Powerball home run leaderboard. And Braun has 29 for the season. That leads the National League. Ryan Braun, Corey Hart, a 20 homer season this year. Ramos Ramirez with 13. And the Brewers certainly used the home run ball in this ballpark. One of the top home run hitting teams over the last few years, and once again Milwaukee at the top.
Yep, 128 home runs. Did not hit a home run in St. Louis in that 3-game series.
Pretty good Cardinal pitching in that series. As Braun fouls one back. Well, Braun leads the league in homers. He is 3rd in the league in runs batted in, trailing Carlos Beltran. Beltran has 77 to start play today. Matt Holliday was 76. And Braun was 74 runs batted in.
And although the batting average not all that high for Ryan against Bronson Arroyo, he does have a number of home runs against Arroyo in his career.
Braun with 4 home runs of his 13 hits. Overall, Braun batting .283 against Arroyo, 13 for 46.
Not such a bad batting average, but for Ryan Braun, that's about middle of the road.
Ramos Ramirez waiting to hit next. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 men out. And back up the middle, Arroyo, a former Gold Glove Award winner himself, makes the play for the out. 1-2-3 inning for Bronson Arroyo. We head to the 2nd.
And Gene Segura making his first Brewers start at shortstop tonight. He is showing poise well beyond his years so far. He answered questions from the media before the game today. Showed confidence, too, saying he's excited about the trade that brought him to Milwaukee, and he feels like the Brewers and their fans will wind up loving the Zach Greinke deal. Because, Gene says, John Helwig and Ariel Pena, the other two pitchers the Brewers acquired, they're now in Huntsville. Gene says they'll be up here soon as well. And, guys, he didn't come off as cocky or arrogant, just very confident. I was very impressed.
Yeah, no question. He certainly seemed poised, and you have to remember English is his second language, and he answered all the questions, and he looked like a guy who's been here for a while, not a guy who is making his Brewers major league debut.
Yeah, very well thought out comments, asking, media asking him, does he feel as though he has what it takes to be the shortstop of the future? He says that will be determined depending on how I do. You got to love that.
Yeah. Jay Bruce whips one into deep right field. That ball's got some carry on it, and Aoki makes the catch up against the wall. It was an awkward swing, but Bruce hit it right on the barrel and almost hit it out of here.
Yeah, way out in front is Jay Bruce. Here's another guy that really gives the Brewers fits. And Aoki, a perfectly timed leap, wouldn't have been out of the ballpark, would have been extra bases, but he goes back and is able to haul it in. Nice catch by Nori Aoki out there in right field. Like Jay Bruce doesn't matter how he's swinging the bat before the Brewers either come into town or they come here. He just starts getting hit after hit.
Well, here's Ryan Ludwig. Speaking of hot hitters, he has been one of the hottest of them all. Ludwig with 19 home runs now, 57 driven in. This was an off-season signing by the Reds, and I think kind of slipped under the radar a little bit. But if you go back and remember the history between their general manager Walt Jocketty, longtime general manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, he was the GM that acquired Ryan Ludwig from the Indians, brought him to the big leagues with the Cardinals, and Tony La Russa planted him in that 2-hole in front of Albert Pujols, and Ludwig thrived in that role. Was an all-star one year with the Cardinals. He was in San Diego last year. Spent a little time in Pittsburgh, two pitcher-friendly ballparks, and he admitted that San Diego was a tough place to hit mentally. You didn't ever feel like you were strong enough or had enough power in that ballpark, especially to Ludwig's power, which is right center. But he has regained his stroke once again in Cincinnati with his old boss in St. Louis. That one's hit into right. Aoki, much easier time of this one. No, it gets down. Aoki took a roundabout route to it, and that's going to be a double for Ryan Ludwig.
Yeah, initially it looked like Aoki was going to make that catch easily, but it just kept slicing more and more toward the line and right, and he just couldn't get there. Aoki on his horse, as you mentioned, a bit of a circuitous route to that baseball down the right field line. And ordinarily you're going to see Aoki be able to make that catch, but he kind of pulled up a little bit as he got to the foul line and just was not able to haul it in. So that's a double for Ryan Ludwig.
Now the one he thought was going to hit short went deep on Jay Bruce, and the one he thought was going to be deep ended up short. And an extra base hit for Ludwig brings Scott Rowland to the plate. Rowland hitting .236 with 5 homers, 27 runs batted in. Doesn't play every day any longer. Dusty Baker's pretty aware of his off days, trying to map his off days out along with team off days. Typically gives him day games after night games off. But when he's in the lineup, he's certainly a presence in that lineup, especially defensively. And maybe more than anything else, Rock, he is a presence in the clubhouse for the Cincinnati Reds. And
yeah,
One of the big difference makers in 2010 when they won the division.
A leader that leads by example. You know, he doesn't like not being able to play every single day, but that's just not where he is in his career. But when he's in there, you're right. He makes everybody better. Still very good defensively. Very accurate arm. Just doesn't have the range that he used to.
Rolen dipped into the fountain of youth at the All-Star break. Since the All-Star break, he's hitting .355. Knowing he has to cover some of the offense vacated by the presence of Joey Votto.
Well, the Reds have done a nice job covering for Votto. What was that record again? 16-3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. But as you mentioned, when you have the type of pitching that the Reds have, both in the starting rotation and their bullpen, you don't need to score a lot of runs. Starters have been very good. The bullpen is the best in the league. And if you're behind the Reds after 6 innings, 7 innings, you are in trouble.
Full count on Scott Rolen. Ludwig out at second. And Rolen draws the walk. So 2 on with 1 away in the second inning.
Yeah, for Monday home games, fans can purchase terrace reserve seats for just $6. Check that, $8. Courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit brewers.com/highlife. Offer excludes marquee games. And the 6 and the 8 looks like a 6.
It's like a Schroeder sale.
6 looks like an 8.
You just pick up the difference on your next paycheck.
Yeah,
right?
just mention my name, you get it for 6. Just kidding.
Now here is Todd Frazier, the man responsible for filling in for Votto at first base. His numbers so-so. The batting average low at .240, but he's hit 3 homers, has 12 RBIs in Votto's absence.
Still pretty good numbers in 81 games. Not bad.
Reds are coming off a homestand where they lost just 2 games. They were 5-2 on a 7-gamer. They start a 7-game road trip here tonight, and it'll be a key road trip for them. That one's driven to right, and Aoki is there to make the catch. Fly balls are giving Aoki a little trouble here tonight. Came in on that one, had to retreat.
Right ball was smoked into right field. You know, a ball like that right at an outfielder is going to fool him a little bit. But Aoki able to retreat and make the catch. Frazier gives this one a nice ride, a line drive out to right field. Aoki having to backpedal and hauls it in. Interestingly enough, Ludwig did not tag up.
Right. And Ludwig was content to go halfway, trying to score if it was a base hit. That one sliced to right. Aoki is there again. Boy, the Reds are finding Aoki. He makes 3 of them, and those are the 3 outs in the inning. The NFL is back, and Fox's preseason coverage begins on Thursday, August 16th. It's the Bengals and the Falcons, and then on Friday, August 17th, the Lions head to Baltimore to square up against the Ravens. Coverage of both games begins at 7 p.m. Central. The NFL on Fox. To the second we go. Brewers coming up in their half of the second inning. Aramis Ramirez will lead off. Reds put up a threat in the top of this frame. Gallardo strands 2 base runners on a couple of line drive outs. So here is Ramirez now, swinging away at the first pitch, and that will end up in the seats. Ramirez has always been a run producer. He's always been a good hitter. But this is his nemesis competitor here in Bronson Arroyo. Aramis Ramirez throughout his career hitting 190 against Bronson Arroyo. And that's in 63 at-bats.
Yeah.
He by far has the most at-bats against Arroyo on the Brewers club.
He had 12 hits in 63 at-bats, with 2 of them home runs. But Arroyo is the master of the off-speed pitch, keeping change-ups, curveballs down. Doesn't throw many fastballs that are over the plate. He does give up a lot of home runs. He leaves a pitch up in the strike zone. You can hit him far. But he hasn't been doing much of that lately. Home runs are down for Arroyo this year, only 17.
Arroyo's done a great job this season. That was a big question for the Reds. Did they have enough starting pitching? Well, Johnny Cueto has emerged as a legitimate ace. He's one of the best in the business. And then you have guys like Arroyo and Homer Bailey, holdovers from years past, and then the new addition this year via trade this offseason, Matt Latos, who's now starting to find his second gear.
And the one thing you have to do with Arroyo, make him throw strikes. He's not going to throw strikes unless you make him. To work off the corners, keep the curveballs off the plate. And right there. Was forced to throw a strike on a 2-2 pitch. Ramirez got a pretty good one to hit, but he fouled it back. 89 miles an hour is all, but with all the off-speed pitches that he throws, that 89 appears a little bit quicker to the hitter.
2-2 to Ramirez, right back to Arroyo, and he makes another play. Second time he's gloved one on the mound. One gone. Well, the Reds have used only 5 starters this season, the fewest used in the major leagues. They've only needed that combination of Latos, Cueto, Bailey, Leak, and Arroyo, and they have 7 complete games this year. Most complete games in the National League. Arroyo has one of those. Corey Hart a little late as he fouls one off to the right. This gives you an idea of what Arroyo has done in his last 3 outings. Gave up 4 runs against San Diego but got a win. He shut out the Rockies. He threw 6+ innings.
And the guy that, ordinarily, if he's facing a free swinging ball club, he's going to have some success. Brewers have always been really classified as a free swinging club. That's why he's got such a good record against Milwaukee. 13 wins in 24 starts.
There's a chopper through the hole, a base hit. Corey Hart bangs one through the left side, and the first Milwaukee hit comes with 1 out in the second inning.
Change up in the strike zone, and Corey able to wait back and hit it hard in the left field. Ground ball between third and short. That's what you have to do. You have to make Arroyo get pitches up in the strike zone. He gets that pitch down, it's a ground ball to somebody. When he leaves his pitches up, it becomes very hittable.
So here is Weeks now with Hart at first base. Ricky hitting .210 coming into play tonight. During the recent road trip, he was 1 for 9. That 3-game series in St. Louis. Not a whole lot of success offensively for the Brewers. They scored just 4 runs in the 3 games, and Randy Wolf drove in 2 of those runs.
Yeah, Kyle Lohse last night has always given the Brewers problems. Adam Wainwright on Saturday, I don't think anybody would have hit him that night. He had very good command, and he was tough. Just one of his nights. Complete game. The Brewers just were not able to get much going.
So there's breaking ball in there from Arroyo. And it's 1-2 on Weeks. Weeks had his only hit of the St. Louis series yesterday, was 1 for 2. He did walk twice. Still leads the team in walks with 56. And that's good enough for 5th in the National League in walks. A swing and a miss. Arroyo strikes him out. The frisbee pitch. 2 outs in the inning. First strikeout for Arroyo.
And Ricky chasing a little bit off the outside corner, but he had to because the pitch before that Ricky thought was outside. He goes after with 2 strikes and really pulls a string on that pitch with 2 strikes, and Ricky way out in front.
Martin Maldonado with 2 away. Getting the call behind the plate tonight. Jonathan Lucroy caught the last 2 games, and Maldonado probably starting to move towards that every 3rd day role. The Brewers still trying to get Lucroy back to an everyday catcher after that broken hand. They're taking their time with him.
Your legs start to get a little bit heavy after you've been back there for a few days. You get a day off, and it shouldn't be too long before Lucroy's back there every day. That's certainly what he wants to do.
Yeah, and he'd probably tell you he's ready to do that right now, but still gives the Brewers an opportunity to look at Maldonado. And I think more than anything else, Ron Renicky wanted to make sure he's taking care of Lucroy and getting him his starts, but also make sure he got Maldonado back on the field as soon as possible. He had one of his worst games as a big leaguer, even as a pro in his words, on Friday night against St. Louis, and that's not something you want a young player, a young catcher, to be sitting on for a few days.
Yeah, 3 throwing errors in the game, and 3 of the 4 errors that the Brewers committed on Friday night.
Catchers not only take their defense very seriously with the throws and how they block balls, but they also take calling the game very seriously. And Brewers gave up 9 runs that night and a 9-3 finish. And a strike called inside corner. Maldonado is rung up, and the side is retired. The Brewers get a hit and strand him at first. We go to the 3rd. Milwaukee. Great to have you with us tonight. Nori Aoki's been busy. Had 4 baseballs his direction in the 2nd inning. Time now for our AT&T U-verse reverse replay. Aoki made a nice catch on a Jay Bruce fly ball. Almost came in too early on a Todd Frazier line drive and then caught Ryan Hannigan's line drive to end the inning. And those last 2 plays were with 2 runners on base. So Aoki, very busy man in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, Brewers had Aoki positioned perfectly for Hannigan. He was shaded away on the line, and that's exactly where he put it.
Reds have hit 3 line drives to Aoki for outs, including Zach Cozart, who started the game with a liner to right field. Here's Arroyo at the plate. The Cincinnati pitcher. He comes in with a batting average of 158, 6 hits and 38 at bats. Does have an RBI this year. He doesn't strike an imposing figure at the plate, but he can handle the bat pretty well.
Yeah.
Typically gets his bunts down when asked.
Pitchers did a pretty good job against the Brewers in that St. Louis series. Adam Wainwright with a couple of base hits.
Well, all systems go for the Reds. Even their pitchers are swinging the bat well. They are clicking on all cylinders right now as Gallardo strikes out Arroyo for the first out of the 3rd inning. Cincinnati is some kind of blazing hot. 15-2 right now. They've over their last 17. They are scoring runs at over 5 runs per game. You see the team batting average is up about 20 points from their overall team batting average. And they're starting to hit homers again. And again, they're doing most of this without Joey Votto in the lineup.
Yeah, they're looking more and more like the best team in the National League. If they're not, they're very close.
Well, you know as well as anyone, Rock, pennant races, postseason games are won with your bullpen. And I'm not sure any team in the National League at this moment has a better bullpen than the Reds. They're up there statistically, but just the kind of balance that Dusty Baker has, the power that he has in his bullpen, he can match up with any lineup.
Yeah, their bullpen earned run average is 2.52. That's best in the National League.
Cozart bounces one to Ramirez for out number 2.
And they have been good all year, but the addition of Jonathan Broxton just gives them another power arm down in that pen. They've got 22 wins out of their bullpen at 252 earned run average and an opponent batting average at just 215. That's what it takes to win games late. Numbers like that.
Two outs for Drew Stubbs. Stubbs bounced out in the 1st inning. That was Gene Segura's first chance in the National League. Stubbs now with 14 home runs, 36 driven in. And he shoots that one to right field, a base hit. Good piece of hitting there by Stubbs.
Yeah, Reds are doing a nice job hitting the ball to the opposite field. That was a high curveball from Gallardo that time, and Stubbs able to stay on it and hit it hard on the line into right field. That curveball a little bit too much up in the zone, and Stubbs able to take advantage of it. So great speed at first base for Cincinnati.
Stubbs, a base stealer, has 24 stolen bases this season. He's been caught 6 times.
And he's saying to Corey Hart, you know, I'm not going to be here very long. I'm going to steal.
Especially with Brandon Phillips just getting back into the swing of things. I always wonder about a hitter who comes back, and if he's been down for a while like Brandon Phillips has, been out since last Tuesday, missed almost a week with that calf injury. But you go a week without seeing big league pitching, sometimes the timing is a little off.
Yep.
Might see the Reds try to manufacture one here. And there goes Stubbs. And the throw by Maldonado right on the bag, but Stubbs is in there. A stolen base for Drew Stubbs, number 25.
Maldonado was out early today working on his throws to the bases, and it certainly paid off with that throw to second base. Lost the transfer very quick and able to get on top of it. The problem that he had in St. Louis, arm was dropping a little bit, ball was tailing badly, and not that time. That was a good throw.
That pop-up slide by Stubbs in there, no problem. And now Stubbs in scoring position for Phillips. That one's into right center field. Long run for Gomez. With room, he's got it. And the inning is over. The Reds have left 3 on in the early going. Brewers coming up. Segura about ready to make his Brewers debut at the plate. Segura promoted from Double-A Huntsville in the Texas League. He played 8 games in Huntsville. Had 13 hits. He was 13 for 30 with 4 runs batted in. He also had 4 steals. Hit .346 combined this year in 94 games. He started his season in Double-A in the Texas League in Arkansas. Very pitcher-friendly ballpark in Arkansas.
And not a very big kid. He's 5'10", but he's really put together. I mean, he is a guy committed to the weights and a lot of strength. When I say not big, I should say tall. He is solid as a rock. And the reports on him, he's very fast. He can steal bases. Good hitter. And very athletic in the infield.
I was talking to his Double-A manager with the Angels, Mike McCucci, who's in Arkansas, and he called him a game-changing talent at some point in the big leagues, he believes. As he strikes out, Arroyo picks up his 3rd consecutive strikeout. And that's a tough matchup for any hitter, especially for a guy making his debut with a new ball club to face Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah, you really have to stay back. And, you know, he was just wired. He was ready to just go and get it. And you're going to have to give this kid some time. I mean, just got to let him settle in and get his feet wet, get comfortable in the major leagues. Don't put a lot of expectations on him. Brewers going to have to be patient with him. Still learning how to play shortstop. And once he settles in, he's going to show you that he's going to be a pretty good hitter.
Cesar Izturis claimed on waivers by the Washington Nationals today. So Izturis will jump into a pennant race as a backup infielder with the Nationals. And Segura is here, maybe a little earlier than the Brewers thought he would. Ron Renicky said earlier today they were counting on a September call-up with Segura, but he's here 3 weeks earlier than that. They'll get a good look at him over the next few weeks. 1-2 to Gallardo, and Arroyo strikes him out. Looked like the same pitch, and that's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Bronson Arroyo. Yeah, a reminder, you can join Buck star Brandon Jennings for basketball instruction and fun at the 3rd annual Brandon Jennings basketball camp. That's at Homestead High School, August 18th and 19th. For more information, you can register at foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events banner. Top of the order, Nori Aoki now. Arroyo not necessarily thought of as a strikeout pitcher, but he has had his big strikeout moments this year, especially against Milwaukee. Struck out 9 Brewers back in early May on May 7th.
And that's a season high for him. Already with 4. Brewers having a tough time waiting back on that off-speed pitch.
Arroyo struck out 6 Brewers in a victory on July 21st. As Aoki rips one back up the middle, a base hit.
That fastball right down the middle. He made a mistake, and Aoki able to bang it into center field. 89 miles an hour in the fastball from Bronson Arroyo. A mistake pitch. A very hittable fastball for Aoki, and he takes advantage of it.
Here's Carlos Gomez now. Gomez popped up into shallow left field on a 3-0 pitch his last time up. That one off the end of the bat. Back out to Ryan Ludwig. And the side is retired. 3 innings in the books in Milwaukee. No score. Arroyo and Gallardo.
Social media interaction. Sophia Minert now joins us, and Sophia's going to stir things up because the Brewers are going on and the Olympics are going on.
Absolutely, Craig. And when fans aren't watching the Olympics with us or watching the Brewers with us, they'll probably be watching the Olympics, and even some of the players have caught the Olympic spirit. Manny Parra tweeted over the weekend, "What is your favorite Summer Olympics event?" He got some good response. Tonight, we want to take that a little bit further. We want to ask fans, which brewer do you think could compete in your favorite Summer Olympic event? We'd like fans to tweet us at FS Wisconsin and reply with the hashtag #CrewOlympics.
Perfect stuff, and we'll be back in a few innings for an update, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Craig and Sophia's Ryan Braun runs one down. Jay Bruce flies out to left field this time for the first out of the inning. Yeah, too bad J.J. Hardy's no longer with the Brewers. You know, he'd be perfect for Olympic trampoline.
Have you seen any of that, the trampoline?
No, I haven't. Have you?
No.
It's not. I don't think it's in the prime time window.
I bet Carlos Gomez would be a great long jumper. You know, the triple jump.
Yeah.
Am I having trouble with the cough switch here?
I don't know.
There you go.
You got a little cough today, do you?
A little bit of a frog in my throat.
That's okay. It's understood. No reflection upon your character, Rob. There's Ludwig. Takes a ball. Maldonado throws it away. Just a misfire for Maldonado. Hopefully doesn't have the thing. That doesn't look like a thing kind of throw.
No.
Steve Sack syndrome.
I don't think Yo was expecting it quite so soon.
1-2 on Ryan Ludwig.
See, as a catcher, I'm going to lay that one a little bit on Gallardo.
You gotta make a better effort than that, right? You ever have any trouble throwing it back to the mound?
No.
Or throwing to any base?
Well, I bounce throws, but you know, every catcher's done that before.
I mean, that was in your head a little bit?
No. Yeah. You know, some coaches have it in batting practice. You know? I mean, they call it the thing.
I've seen that.
And you just can't throw for strikes. You know, Rob Deere, you know, had that. And he continues to have that.
I specifically remember a Brewer coach throwing batting practice. He hit Mike Cameron.
I did that once. Cameron's first year, I just had to welcome him into spring training. But Rob Deere in fantasy camp was throwing batting practice to the guys. His team, his first throw, hit a camper right in the neck.
Oh no!
You know, camper walking around. You know, Deere very apologetic. Goes back. Next throw, hit him right in the neck again. Needless to say, I had to pick up the slack for him. I told him to sit on the sidelines. I'll throw.
Gallardo strikes out Ryan Ludwig. Out number 2.
Yeah, join Crew HD for $20 and get a ticket to select Brewers games, admission to the Harley-Davidson Museum, plus an HD Museum glass mug. Visit brewers.com/HD Museum. And that's not a common thing, you know, in fantasy games. Coaches don't go around hitting campers.
Especially in the neck. Neck's not an easy place to get to in fantasy camp.
Right.
You know, it's just pretty much ears and shoulders.
Right.
Worst case I ever saw was Steve Sachs.
Yeah.
At second base. He just couldn't throw the ball to first. He was fine if it was a reaction play and he had to go in the hole. But if it was a 3-hopper at him and he had to set his feet and make a throw, he couldn't do it.
When you have to think about it, right?
Right. Chuck Knobloch went through a little bit of that with the Yankees. One and 2 on Roland. Gallardo throwing strikes now. Issued a walk in the second inning to Roland. That's his only walk so far to go along with 3 strikeouts.
You can tell Gallardo really trying to throw that fastball up around the letters to Roland. Has a tough time getting to a good fastball up there. Just doesn't seem to be able to get it down enough.
Missed with a fastball. Full count to Roland. Still terrific at third base. And he's been hitting lately for Cincinnati. Always a tough out, a guy who takes a lot of pitches. Certainly knows his strike zone well.
That last one was pretty close. Well, he got the call.
37-year-old Scott Roland, now in his 17th year in the big leagues. That one didn't miss by much, but Roland draws the walk. Second time Gallardo has walked Roland, And a man on for Todd Frazier.
Amazing. Amazing how you can take that pitch. But I guess if you're a hitter these days, why swing at it? You can't do anything with it. And Bill Welke behind home plate. One was right on the outside corner. This one right at the knees. And Gallardo didn't get either call.
So Gallardo carries on here in the 4th inning. Frazier, an aggressive hitter, but he takes a strike, a fastball. Frazier lined out in the 2nd inning to right field. Time now to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Gallardo and Bronson Arroyo. Gallardo at 93 so far, his best fastball. Arroyo at 89. That's about all you'll get out of Arroyo. Gallardo has the ability to hit 94, 95 on occasion. Little flare, long run. Aoki broke back, now coming in. Plenty of time to make the catch. And the inning is over. It's a busy man out there in right field. Part of the order coming up for the Brew Crew. Sports Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. No score. We head to the Brewer half of the 4th inning with Ryan Braun leading off. And our carsoup.com email the booth question tonight. Robin Waukesha, do you think the NL Central could have 3 teams in the playoffs? We have a division winner and the 2 wild card spots. The top 2 wild card records will go to the playoffs this season. As Braun into right center field, didn't quite get it, and Bruce makes the catch for the first out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Arroyo.
Well, right now Pittsburgh is 2nd behind the Atlanta Braves in the wild card spot. St. Louis is 3rd. So if both of those teams at the end of the season able to catch Atlanta, you could very well see 3 teams in that division, in the Central Division, go in, assuming that Cincinnati wins it.
This is what the wild card looks like right now. Braves percentage points ahead of Pittsburgh, but a lot of baseball to be played, and you just have that feeling it's going to come down to the last week, maybe the last day, like it did last year. There's so much to change. Ramirez gets into this one, deep right center field. That is off the wall. Ramirez on his way to 2nd and in there with a double. He finally solves the Arroyo riddle, does Aramis Ramirez.
And what else would it be? A double. He just continues to rack up the doubles, 37 of them now. And that now leads the National League. Taking it to the opposite field. That's what you have to do to Arroyo. I mean, you try and pull his pitches, and you're just going to be making outs all night long. You make him, you wait back, you make him get the ball up in the zone and shoot it into center and to right. If you're a right-handed batter, that's where you're going to find your success.
And Aramis Ramirez safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. Now, Lyle Overbay has the franchise record for doubles in a season with 53. Aramis Ramirez on a pace right now. Had to miss a few games because of a wrist injury. Got a cortisone shot in that wrist. Ramirez is now past Joey Votto, who's been on the disabled list for the last 3 weeks.
He's got 16 in him, doesn't he?
I think so.
Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez, aside from the 37 doubles, also has 13 home runs and 2 triples. He has the most extra base hits in the National League with 52. Bronson Arroyo wants his catcher, Ryan Hannigan, to come out. Maybe changing the signs. Quick trip to the mound for Hannigan.
You know, the Brewers haven't been able to hit much for an average this year, but they are 4th in slugging percentage. They're actually ahead of the Cincinnati Reds in that department. A lot of extra base hits for the Crew.
They could use one here as Hart tries to deliver Ramirez, and a bouncer to second base. Phillips for out number 2. Ramirez does advance, but 2 gone. And with Ramirez at third base, it'll be Ricky Weeks. Weeks takes a strike. Third time the Brewers have seen Arroyo this season. Saw him in early May, in late June, 3rd week of July, and now here 1st week of August. Popped him up, foul territory in the seats. Arroyo's been a very durable pitcher for Cincinnati. Came to the Reds from the Red Sox. Started his career with the Pirates. He's made 27 appearances against Milwaukee. This is number 28, and this is his 25th start.
And he's won 13 games.
A whole lot of decisions there. He has 21 decisions in those 27 previous games. So no secrets. 0-2 to Weeks. Ramirez at third. And a swing and a miss. Weeks strikes out. Bronson Arroyo punches out Weeks for the second time. He has 5 now.
Time for Crew of the Community. Brewers Community Foundation Ultimate Auction starts tomorrow, runs through the 21st, and fans can bid on 12 exclusive packages during an online auction coinciding with Brewer Community Foundation Week. Some of the package, the use of a suite at Miller Park for 20 guests with a visit from alumni players, Mark Adonaggio's 5 front row seats next to the Brewer dugout, and an all-expenses-paid trip to 2013 Brewer Fantasy Camp at Maryvale Park in Phoenix. Check it out at Brewers.com. And Rock, high bids expected for the Fantasy Camp package. A chance to hang out with you in Arizona?
Yeah, well, the Fantasy Camp over the last few years has raised well over $4,000, so that's been a very popular package. Something that Brewers and Fantasy Camp donate every year for a great cause, the Brewers Community Foundation.
Well, we head to the top of the 5th, and Ryan Hannigan leads the way for Cincinnati. Takes a strike from Gallardo. All kind of cool auction items at Brewers.com. Just kind of some random stuff from players too you might be interested in.
I think they're doing another dinner or lunch with you and I.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I think we're going to.
People, we don't have to pay for that, do we?
Oh no, we don't pay for anything.
That's true. We're press. We don't pay.
We're going to have them up here into the booth. We're going to have dinner in the press room, which isn't bad.
Nice.
Food's
Like,
not bad in there.
Little tablecloth, some candles.
Are you in charge of that?
I don't think so.
And then kind of just hang out and watch us do our thing up here for a couple innings.
Doesn't sound very exciting.
Not to you and I. We do it every night.
I watch you do your thing every night.
Yeah. And you could do it yourself at this point.
That'll be great. So what we're saying is we want to kind of make sure that that particular auction item, at least the Fantasy Camp and the dinner with us, doesn't end up as the black sheep.
Yeah, we don't want to be embarrassed.
No. There's a walk to Ryan Hannigan. The Reds have a leadoff runner aboard. How about some trivia tonight, courtesy of AT&T? Who was the last non-NL Central Division player to win an NL MVP award? That's a good question.
It is.
You got Ryan Braun, Joey Votto, the last 2 MVPs.
Albert, he's been in there.
That's right. Arroyo pops it up. Hart lays out and makes the catch.
What a beauty. All right, he's something else over there at first base. What a surprise he's been. And that big long wingspan, able to grab it just before it hits the ground. That's a nice play by Corey Hart. He's charging for the bunt. He has to redirect his route. And he makes a left turn and able to get it just before it gets to the ground. And what a play by Corey.
That's some great athleticism by a very tall man, the 6'6" Corey Hart. He is a terrific athlete. Hart was a shortstop in high school, a shortstop and a 3-guard at 6'5" in Kentucky in high school.
He says he had a pretty good 3-pointer. Wouldn't doubt it.
No. Not at all. A strike to Zach Cozart. Cozart making a serious case for himself for Rookie of the Year this year, as the Brewers have Gene Segura making his first start. That's a good guy to keep your eye on if you're Segura, Zach Cozart. And he lines one into left field, a base hit. So 2 on, with the heart of the order coming up for the Reds, and Gallardo in some trouble here in the 5th.
And that brings us to tonight's time of the game winner. Aiden O'Reilly's Pub and Grill in Allenton. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. That's just north of us, 45, Allenton, Wisconsin.
Just a conversation away. 2 on, 1 away for Drew Stubbs. Stubbs still strikes out a lot, but he has improved his hitting a great deal. Dusty Baker came to his defense a few days ago talking about how great Stubbs is in the outfield, and it's easy to look up there at the numbers, and he's been productive. He has 14 homers. He's driven in 36. But Dusty Baker was the first to point out that he saves a ton of runs. He's a manager's dream in center field.
That's pretty smart. He's got great speed, a terrific throwing arm out there, and very accurate for the most part. But he has struck out 99 times this year. That's why he's not leading off anymore.
Just by way of comparison, Danny Espinosa of the Nationals leads the National League in strikeouts with 126. The Brewers have 2 on that list, Ricky Weeks and Corey Hart. And Stubbs is not on it as he slices one to right, slicing foul.
It used to be you would never see a middle infielder with 100 or more strikeouts. It's not the stigma that it used to be. Striking out. Didn't have that many 100 strikeout guys in the big leagues.
Last year, Stubbs led all of baseball in strikeouts. He struck out 205 times last year. But he hit 243. And to go along with 15 home runs, he stole 40 bases for the Reds. This guy is a terrific player. And it looks to be a permanent stop in that center field wheel as Weeks comes in, shovels it over to first. Nice throw by Weeks on a speedy base runner to get the second out.
Yeah, that was a lot tougher play than Ricky made it look. And coming in on the slow chopper. Stubbs, as we've seen already tonight with a stolen base, he can fly down that line. And on one motion, a sidearm flip. He had to put something on it, and right on the money to Corey to get the out. That nice play.
Yeah, Weeks has such a good throwing on him. And you figure Ricky's going to be important for Gene Segura as he adapts to the shortstop position.
Ricky's had a lot of different shortstops over there this year.
Yeah, yes, he has in his career.
It's 5 now this year.
Alex Gonzalez was signed to be the everyday shortstop. He got hurt in early May, out for the season.
Like Ransom, his Turris, Bianchi, and now Segura. Anybody else I'm missing? Masonette was
Edwin Masonette.
Yeah, Masonette was Edwin Masonette played some shortstop.
Brandon Phillips, second and third with 2 away. You think about all the shortstops Weeks has played with. He came up that double play combo of Hardy and Weeks coming up from the minor league system. Thought that was going to be the keystone combo for many years to come. Hardy traded Escobar, Alcides Escobar, brought up to the big leagues, and then Escobar traded away.
Pretty consistent though last year with Betancourt.
Right.
But Ricky was the one that got hurt last year.
Weeks had a severely sprained ankle that cost him 6 weeks of the schedule toward the end of the season. By the way, did you see Yuniesky Betancourt got designated for assignment by the Kansas City Royals?
Yeah.
Probably see a club pick him up. I thought maybe the Nationals might take a chance on Betancourt. One thing about Uni B last year, he was outstanding down the stretch and in the playoffs. He swung a big bat for the Brewers in September and on into the postseason. Three balls and a strike on Brandon Phillips. 0 for 2 against Gallardo tonight. Reds have been knocking at the door. They've been unable to score yet. Bouncing ball, Hart has it, and he'll take it himself. So Gallardo strands 2 more. 6 left on base for the Redlegs.
Pitching so far, Bronson Arroyo continues his mastery over the Brewers. He's 2-0 already this year. He's got 5 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. And Giovanni Gallardo, coming off a very good start against the Houston Astros, has kept a very good offense in the Cincinnati Reds scoreless through 5 innings.
Well, Arroyo, just the 3 hits. The Brewers had a runner at third base last inning. After Ramirez doubled, he was advanced to third and stranded him there. Milwaukee has left 3 on base, while the Cincinnati Reds twice have had 2 on. Last inning had runners at second and third with Phillips at the plate. Maldonado into deep right center field. That ball's pretty well hit. That ball's got a chance. It's off the wall, and Maldonado into second base. A leadoff double. Just kept carrying out there to right field.
I think that ball fooled Drew Stubbs out there in center. He kind of drifted after it and ended up banging off that center field wall. That was a nice job by Jay Bruce. He went a long way out in the center field to back that play up. Had Bruce not been there, that might have been a triple, maybe more, for Martin Maldonado. Check him out. Look at Bruce. That's great hustle by the right fielder.
So double number 5 for the young catcher, Martin Maldonado. And here is Gene Segura. Chance to drive in a run and make some new fans here in Milwaukee. Swinging away at the first pitch. Sends one to right. Bruce to make the catch. Maldonado is going to test the arm. Here comes the throw. It hits Maldonado, and he's in there.
Good thing.
If it was kickball, he's out. But he's in there.
How about that throw by Jay Bruce? He was out there in deep right field. Segura didn't sound as though he got it all that well, but the ball's carrying pretty well. Look at Bruce with the arm. He's got one of the best arms in the big leagues. And had this baseball not hit Maldonado, that would have been close at third base. Maldonado not very fast, and he might have been out.
So there he is at third base, challenging the strong throwing arm of Jay Bruce. And now it's Giovanni Gallardo. See if the Brewer pitcher can put one in play here. And he does better than that. It's a base hit. An RBI for Gallardo. And it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, Royal hung an off-speed pitch, and Gallardo able to spank it into left. Well, that's a good opportunity for Giovanni to show his offense. As that curveball stays up in the zone and makes it very hittable for Yo. And the Brewers end their 21-inning drought of scoring runs or not scoring runs. That's a good monkey to get off your back.
Yes, indeed. First inning of Saturday's game. The last run scored until now, and it's 1-0 Brewers. Still just one out. Back to the top of the order. Well, Segura's fly ball to right field does not go as a sacrifice, but certainly the Brewers would not have scored without it. At least on the base hit by Gallardo.
Yeah, it did look as though he was trying to shoot the ball to the opposite field. He got under it and did his job. You like to see that.
Aoki had a single his last time up. 2 balls and a strike. Make it 3-1. Well, that hit by Aoki in the 3rd inning extended his hitting streak to 9 games. Hitting over 300 during that stretch. Pulls that one, a base hit. And Gallardo will not challenge the arm of Jay Bruce. And the inning continues here. 3rd hit of the inning. Aoki now has 2 hits against Arroyo tonight. 1st and 2nd with 1 away. Now a reminder that this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Brewers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers. 2 on, 1 out for Carlos Gomez. Gomez is 0 for 2 tonight. 2 fly ball outs to left field.
He's been out in front both times on Arroyo. Got to wait back and shoot it to right.
And Arroyo sneaks a fastball by him at 88 miles an hour. Gomez was the National League Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. On the ground, Phillips shovels it to Cozart, throw to first in time. A double play. 4-6-3 double play. And the inning is over. The Brewers do score a run, however, and they lead 1-0. RBI single as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Doing a little dancing, having some fun. Hey, Badgers football kicked off their fall practices today. You can get complete coverage and analysis all week long from Jesse Temple at foxsportswisconsin.com. Back to our AT&T trivia question. We're talking about MVPs from this division. Who was the last non-NL Central Division player to win an NL MVP award?
Was it Jimmy Rollins? It
Very
was.
good. 2007.
And no, I did not know the answer to that. Like you always get the answer every day.
That's right. You had Pujols multiple times. You had Joey Votto in 2010. And then Braun last year. And it looks like the MVP might come out of the Central once again this year. Braun certainly put his name in the hat. Andrew McCutchen is the leader in the clubhouse, to borrow a golf term. He's having a great season for the Pirates. That year Rollins won the MVP. He was not even an all-star at the break. Right in the middle of that run of 5 consecutive division titles for the Philadelphia Phillies. Look at all these Central Division players who are all serious contenders for the most valuable player award.
McCutchen, that batting average almost 370. Right-handed hitter in that ballpark. That's tough to do. Man, that's a great year for McCutchen.
McCutchen still leading the league in hitting. Starting play today. Braun has the home run lead and Beltran the RBI lead. As Bruce lifts one out to Ryan Braun. Jay Bruce retired. That is the 3rd time he has flown out in this game. 0 for 3.
Man, Brewers don't go to Pittsburgh until the end of this month. I haven't been to Pittsburgh yet, Milwaukee.
Hard to believe.
Isn't that something?
It's a beautiful ballpark, and they're drawing big crowds now in Pittsburgh. They should be. They have an excellent team this year. Haven't had a winning season since '92 in Pittsburgh. Ludwig, did he go? No, he didn't, says the base umpire.
And it's going to be hard for the Pirates not to break that stretch. They're currently 15 games over 500 right now.
4.5 back of the Reds to start play today. Pittsburgh has a 4-0 lead over Arizona. They go to the 9th inning in Pittsburgh, working on another shutout. That's another club with a great bullpen. Starting to see these teams with good bullpens, surface as some of the better teams in baseball, and that's just the way it is. That's the way the Brewers were last year. A lights out bullpen. I was talking to Drew Stubbs before the game, and we were talking about the Reds and how well they're playing. He said this Reds team reminds him of the Brewers last year. And that was an interesting perspective from a division opponent. He said facing the Brewers last season, if you didn't have a lead going into the 7th inning, you knew you were in big trouble. And that's the way it has been with Cincinnati all season.
It always comes down to the bullpens, doesn't it? The division winners and the teams in the postseason.
Managerial jobs
come down to the guys in the pen.
2-2 to Ludwig. Got jammed. Here comes Aoki. And he runs this one down. 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, the Crew is set to take on division rival Chicago Cubs Monday, August 20th through Wednesday, August 22nd, right here at Miller Park. Good seats are still available. Call 414-902-4000 or go to Brewers.com.
Dale Swaim's Chicago Cubs.
They were playing some pretty good baseball, but they've all of a sudden lost 5 in a row.
There are the numbers validating the bullpen discussion on Dusty Baker, leading the National League in wins and ERA.
I was looking at some of their numbers out of that bullpen. The bullpen coming into tonight's game, 292 and 2/3 innings. They've allowed only 230 hits. well below a hit per inning.
And everything you say about Cincinnati Reds pitching, bullpen, or starters, you have to put it in the context of the ballpark they play in half the year,
right,
which is one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in the big leagues. Rolen down the left field line. That's a base hit. Braun able to cut it off, and Rolen will be held to a single. So Rolen's been aboard 3 times against Gallardo, 2 walks and a hit.
Yeah, 2 of the 4 base hits that Giovanni has allowed have come on curveballs up in the strike zone. That was one that Rolen was able to get the end of the bat on, a little bit out in front of it, but it was a hanger, and he got a 2-out single. Remember, Drew Stubbs hit a hanging curveball in the right field back in the 3rd inning.
Here's Todd Frazier now. Frazier 0 for 2, had a line out his first time up. You remember that New Jersey Little League team that was so famous, Toms River, New Jersey? Frazier was a part of that team.
Down by the ocean.
Played his college ball at Rutgers. Ball and strike on Frazier. On the ground, a base hit. Frazier sneaks one through. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs. And again, Gallardo will pitch with men aboard here. He's already stranded 6 in this game. 2 on with 2 out for Ryan Hanigan.
First time the Reds have had multiple hits in an inning. So Gallardo's had pretty good stuff tonight. He's been able to keep his fastball well located, although that was the fastball that Frazier just hit into center field.
3 walks, 3 strikeouts for Gallardo. And now Hanigan, who walked his last time up. Bouncing ball right to Weeks, to Segura. They just do get the out. Getting over, 2 more left on. That's 8 stranded by Gallardo tonight. presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time. And the time is now to register for Brewers Fantasy Camp. You can relive Team Streak, the 1987 Brewers. Just go to brewers.com/fantasy camp. You get a uniform, airfare, hotel, daily games, doubleheaders every day. It's an all-inclusive package, and it is a great time in Phoenix, Arizona at the Maryville Baseball Complex. Brewers.com/fantasy camp. January 27th through February 3rd, but now is the time to register. Ryan Braun leads off, facing Bronson Arroyo to start the bottom of the 6th. Braun is 0 for 2. Runs have been tough to come by for Milwaukee over the last 4 games. After they had a huge offensive series against the Houston Astros in a 3-game series with the Astros, they hit 8 home runs. Put up double-digit run totals against Houston. Different story in St. Louis, and so far tonight against Arroyo. Think about how the Brewers have scored their runs lately as well.
Yeah, pitchers driving them in. Yeah, 3 of the last 5 runs the Brewers have put on the board have come from the pitchers. Randy Wolf with a couple of RBIs in St. Louis, and tonight Yovani Gallardo.
Only tally on the board right now as Braun goes to right field. And Jay Bruce for the first out. Braun just missed it.
Well, Brownie's got the right idea tonight. He's got a couple of fly ball outs to right, just has not been able to center on him. He's popped them both up.
So here is Aramis Ramirez. It was interesting after Ramirez's last at bat when he doubled into right center once the inning ended. Ramirez, who was at third, crossed paths with Arroyo, who was on his way to the dugout, and those two had a discussion. Immediately after the double by Ramirez, Arroyo brought his catcher out as if he was wanting to change signs.
Some pitchers are very paranoid about that. Hitters being given signs. You get a guy out at second base, you change him a little bit. Once in a while, they're out there too long.
Well, it was a civil conversation between two players who have had numerous confrontations in the past. And Ramirez into left center field. Did he get it? That is way back and gone. Aramis Ramirez makes it 2-0. Belts his 14th home run of the season.
It didn't even sound like he got all of it. It was a fastball that was on the inner half of the plate. Sounded like he got on a trademark just a little bit, but it was up in the strike zone. And he's able to get enough out, knock it out of here into that Brewers bullpen. On Pizza Hut delivery of the game, number 14 of the year for Aramis Ramirez.
And the 7th Brewers hit gives him a 2-0 lead. That had kind of a heavy sound to it, but plenty on it. Corey Hart into left center field. A towering fly ball. Way back and way gone. 3-0 Brew Crew. As Corey Hart goes up into the Harley-Davidson deck.
A couple of pitches up in the strike zone, a fastball, this time a breaking ball, and Corey Hart with his second hit. He waits back nicely. That was a changeup. And Corey Hart, he knew it as soon as he hit it. Got it right on the sweet spot and way back out in left center. We were starting to stay back a little bit on these off-speed pitches.
Number 21 for Corey Hart. Back-to-back home runs as Ricky Weeks takes a strike. That was a classic Corey Hart home run. Just a high, towering fly ball. He hits him as high as anyone. And that is a long way up there in that Harley Davidson deck. Be anxious to see how far that one traveled. What a souvenir for that guy. 0-2 to Weeks. Bouncing ball up the middle. Cozart lays out under his glove. A base hit. The hits are coming for the Brewers.
At every non-marquee home game, fans can purchase a half-price Lowe's bleacher ticket in the Club Goodwill bleacher section at Miller Park. Club Goodwill tickets are sold at the ticket windows in left field.
A man on for Martin Maldonado. Mac Jenkins, assistant pitching coach, on his way out. Just a quick visit with Bronson Arroyo. He's given up 3 hits. That home run by Corey Hart estimated at 444 feet. Gallardo drove in the first run in the 5th inning. Ramirez and Hart with back-to-back home runs. Now 3-0. Maldonado doubled his last time up. He scored the first run. Curveball in there for a strike. Now Maldonado drove one off the right center field fence in the 5th inning. A ball that just kept carrying. Maldonado hitting .277 after that double. He has more than held his own offensively.
Yes, he has. 5 home runs. He's driven in 19. And a lot of those home runs, first couple of weeks, first 3 weeks he was up. And they were big ones too. Hasn't been able to find that home run stroke lately. But he's been able to get his hits.
And 2 on Maldonado. A pretty good cut. Well, Renicky, the former Red, has seen his club finally unleash offensively. Didn't have a home run in Cincinnati, or rather in St. Louis. But the Brewers are at their best when they're hitting home runs. They've got plenty of power up and down their lineup. Never know, maybe Gallardo's RBI hit back in the 5th inning took a little pressure off the offense. Oh, and 2 to Maldonado, and a check on Ricky Weeks. Weeks has 7 steals this year. He's not the base stealer that he once was.
Yeah, Hannigan very good at throwing out base runners. He's at 38% this year, which is very good. Arroyo can be slow to home plate with that big slow curveball.
Maldonado into left field. On the run, Ledwick running out of room, and it's gone! Martin Maldonado with a wall scraper. The third home run of the inning. This one's a 2-run shot. 5-0 Brewers.
And on an 0-2 pitch from Robson Arroyo, making a mistake. And Maldonado able to get just enough of it right down that left field line to knock it out of here. Looking at a hanging slider. Arroyo has been leaving a lot of pitches up in his zone in this inning. Maldonado gets underneath, but just keeps carrying on out of here. And that's going to be it for the Reds right-hander. Well, anything in the air is going to be an adventure tonight. Ball's carrying well.
2-run home run for Maldonado, number 6. Dusty Baker will make the change. A double switch coming up. Arroyo leaves 3 homers in the inning. 5-0. The catch on that home run by Maldonado. Check this out, Rock. Ball's already going over the fence. Ludwig just thinking, oh man, just that close. Now watch.
There it comes right back at you.
Missed him though. Maldonado, number 6. Now 21 runs batted in, and a double switch here, a new battery. The new pitcher is Sam LeCure. Thought he was going to pull a Steve Lyons there for a moment.
Got a wardrobe malfunction. 31st appearance for LeCure. He's 3-2 with a 326 earned run average. And LeCure has been throwing the baseball pretty well. His last 9 appearances, he's only given up 1 run.
Deanna Navarro back behind the plate. That's the double switch. So Navarro will lead off next inning as Segura sends one to right. A line drive out. Gene Segura in his 3rd at bat as a Brewer. He's 0 for 3. Hit that one hard. Just the 2nd out of the inning.
And just like his approach up there, he's nice and quiet up there at the plate. Not a whole lot of extra movement. And you think about it, this kid's only 22 years old, and here he is in the big leagues. Hit that one well. Still looking for that first hit.
Everybody tell him to hang in there.
Everybody give him the high fives. Yeah. He doesn't want to hear about it. It's not a hit.
All right. Giovanni Gallardo with 2 away. He drove in the first run. The Brewers have exploded here with 4 on 3 home runs. Gallardo started it in the 5th, batting with 1 out. And Maldonado at third base. Gallardo got a hanging curveball the first pitch of that at bat, and he delivered into left field.
Man, last thing you want to do against the opposing pitcher is leave an off-speed pitch up in the zone, and that's what Arroyo did. He left a lot of pitches upstairs in this inning. And you got to credit the Brewers. They've been hammering them. 3 home runs on pitches that were up in the strike zone.
Arroyo gives up 10 hits, 5 runs all earned in 5 1/3.
And as he was walking into the dugout, he didn't take his eyes off of that left field corner. Wondering how that ball got out. He should be used to that pitching in Cincinnati.
Gallardo strikes out. The inning is over. But the Brewers bang 3 out of here. Ramirez, Hart, and Maldonado. 5-0 through. By Toyota. Giovanni Gallardo pitching well here tonight. Been able to strand some runners on base. He's left 8 on, as a matter of fact. And he's helped his own cause with his bat. Had an RBI single in the 5th inning. That was the first run of the game. And then the Brewers unload in the 6th inning. A 4-run, 4-hit inning. 3 of the 4 hits home runs. Ramirez, Hart, and Maldonado. Milwaukee scored 4 runs in 3 games in St. Louis, scoring 4 runs in 1 inning against the Cincinnati Reds. And now Gallardo's take to a 5-0 lead. His pitch count is at 95, so he is nearing the end. Gallardo will face Diana Navarro batting for the first time. He came in on the double switch. And then back to the top of the order, which will be the 4th time through the order against Giovanni. Two 2-0 to the Cincinnati catcher. Second time this year the Brewers have hit 3 home runs in an inning. And Maldonado has been a part of that on both occasions, as has Corey Hart. That one's hit well. Over is Aoki. He's got it. Line drive out. There's been plenty of those tonight.
Yeah, busy man out there in right field.
Let's take a look at our Ho-Chunk Gaming text question tonight. Dave in Franksville wants to know, do you think Gene Segura will have more pressure with his offense or his defense? That's a good question. It's timely because Segura, as Rock mentioned, made the position change last year to shortstop, and then he missed 2 months of the season while he was in A-ball with a severe hamstring tear. That one's ripped. Cozart will watch this one fly out of here. Long home run for the Cincinnati shortstop. And the Reds are on the board for the first time.
Well, getting back to that question, you know, the reports on Segura, and we haven't seen much of him, just today. They say he's a very confident young man, and really nothing seems to really get to him. And these are reports coming down from the minor leagues, both with the Angels and the Brewers minor league systems, that this kid doesn't put pressure on himself. He's just going to go out there and play his game. He's got a lot of confidence, and that's what it takes. As Cozart sends one flying on a fastball from Yo. I don't see him putting pressure on himself. The only pressure that he has is going to be coming from, you know, the media, the fans, perhaps, being the guy that was traded for Zach Greinke. I see that's the only pressure that is on him, and that's not going to be coming from Segura himself. He doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be affected by that too much.
Well, and as Ron Renicky said today, Segura is going to get plenty of opportunities. He's here to play, and obviously if he hits and he plays well, he is going to essentially be the everyday shortstop from here on out. Cody Ransom will still be in the mix. He'll still back up and give Segura a break every now and then, but he's here to be seen, and for these big league coaches to get their eyes on him, namely Garth Orge, who was the first guy at his locker when he got dressed today.
And the second guy was Johnny Narin.
Yeah. So Garth Orge took him out, hit him ground balls. He was the only one on the field at the time, only player on the field, and just checking out his range, wondering, trying to get the parameters of where he can go, because Garth Orge is the man responsible for positioning the infielders.
He has to understand what his range is, as you talked about. And
as Gallardo bounces back with a strikeout of Drew Stubbs.
And walking through the Brewers clubhouse, through the tunnel and into the dugout, Johnny Narin and Segura were hitting in the cage in the bat room. Just kind of getting loose a little bit. Narin having a chat with him. He's trying to get into his head a little bit, what he thinks about up at the plate. A work in progress.
Well, it comes with great tools, and they say he has a great head for the game. Knows the game well, excellent base runner, and that can be a very exciting combination moving forward. So we'll see how he goes. Brandon Phillips with 2 away. A run is in on a Cozart home run. Phillips is 0 for 3 tonight in his first game back. He missed almost a week with a calf strain.
I think the nature of the Brewers infield is going to be a calming influence on Segura. You got Ramirez, who was very laid back at third base. He doesn't seem to really feel the pressure or let too much bother him. And Ricky Weeks, about as level-headed and even-keeled a guy as you're ever going to see on a field. Those are the kinds of guys you want around a guy like Segura.
Well, the Brewers are hoping Aramis Ramirez is the mentor figure for him, and Ramirez certainly knows that. They're both from the Dominican Republic, although Ramirez is 12 years older than Segura. Broken bat. Here's Segura. Phillips not running well with that injured calf, and an easy play to win the inning. Segura says, wow, I thought Brandon Phillips was faster than
A lead. Craig Kashan and Sophia Min are back here at Miller Park with you. Time to put a cap on social media, and we're handing out some medals from the Olympics, aren't we?
That's right, Craig. It's the medal round in social media. We put out the question, which brewer would you most like to see compete in your favorite Summer Olympic sport? We asked fans to reply with the hashtag #CrewOlympics, and the judges have answered, so here's go the medals. In the bronze, Trent said Corey Hart would dominate beach volleyball. Nothing would get past him at the net, being 6'6". Tough to argue with that one. Our silver medalist, John, said Cameron Lowe would be amazing at water polo. And with the gold medal, Adam said Ryan Braun in the heptathlon. He can do everything. Hard to go against the MVP. Now, BA and Rock, don't think that you guys were left out of the Olympic fun. Jennifer tweeted she'd like to see you guys in synchronized swimming.
Oh, boy.
How about synchronized diving? That's a good one, too. I think we could pull that off.
No, I don't like heights.
You like that? Remember that old Martin Short routine?
Yeah.
You know, with the shower cap and the nose plugs.
Yeah, I remember.
Aoki hits a hot one over to first. And there is out number one. Aoki retired. I think we could do it. You know what I mean?
No.
You love the pool.
I do.
Big pool guy.
Synchronized swimming, I don't think so.
We'd just be fighting just to stay above the water.
Yeah. I'd be more of a judo kind of guy, you know, wrestling, that type of thing. Nothing that had anything to do with grace and, you know, flexibility, that type of thing.
How about the uneven bars?
No.
Scott Rowland makes the call and the catch, and tough night for Gomez as he's retired for the 4th time.
Well, they call me crazy, but I think, you know, you watch any of that water polo,
It's amazing.
those guys have got to be in unbelievable shape.
That blows me away every
Yeah.
time I see that.
That's something else.
Those underwater cameras have just given water polo a whole new.
I mean, they're kicking and scratching and grabbing and geez.
Bathing suits being pulled off. You got to be careful with those underwater shots.
Right.
Here's Ryan Braun with 2 outs. 5-1 Milwaukee scored 4 runs in the 6th, 3 homers in the inning.
Did you see the 100-meter final last night?
I did.
That guy can fly, huh?
Usain Bolt. He's one of my favorite athletes to watch. It's amazing how fast he is compared to the fastest in the world. There's been a lot of talk about baseball and the Olympics, and of course baseball and softball both taken out of the Olympic competition.
Well, they have the World Baseball Classic instead.
Yeah, that was created for that purpose. Try to keep the game on an international level and keep growing the game. That's what the Olympics does so well. And I think baseball should be an Olympic sport. So should softball, but it's tough to schedule games and what kind of players you would have for the Olympics. College players versus professionals. Braun rips one foul.
Yeah, it's perfect for basketball because the Olympics take place not that long after the NBA season's done. At least the playoffs.
Well, you can look back to the dream team, the original dream team, and that was really the explosion of basketball internationally. And baseball really hasn't had that opportunity. It was a great Olympics. Ben Sheets, gold medal winning pitcher. As Braun lines one to left, Ludwig right there for it. Hit it hard, but right at Ryan Ludwig. Side retired. We're on our way to the 8th inning. It's 5-1 Brewers.
On the air beginning at 6:30. Weather-wise, absolutely beautiful, partly sunny, comfortable temperatures by first pitch, highs in the low 80s, winds out of the northwest up to 14 miles per hour.
And our Miller Lite What's on Tap. The Brewers and the Reds tomorrow. And Wednesday's a matinee, 12:30 airtime for Brewers Live. And then Thursday is an off day. Milwaukee heads out on a road trip through Houston and Colorado after that. Roof is open. A beautiful night at Miller Park. 5-1 Brewers leading the division-leading Reds, team with the best record in baseball. And as we get to the 8th, Ron Renicky trying to hit the reset button here. With Francisco Rodriguez. There's a Rock jersey.
Number 21.
Now here comes K-Rod in essentially a setup role once again.
Now 53rd appearance for K-Rod, 2-6 record. And that big earned run average. At some point you figure things are going to turn around for K-Rod and John Axford. Hopefully it's tonight. That low strike has not been called all night for either side. Tim Welke not giving that pitch.
Jay Bruce leads away. He'll be followed by Ludwig, then Roland. Gallardo goes 7 strong against the Reds. 7 innings, just 1 earned run for Yovani Gallardo tonight.
Back-to-back very good starts for Yo.
One and 2 on Bruce. Well, you're pulling for K-Rod. He's a guy who has been struggling like at no other time in his career. Said it wasn't a mechanical thing. He just was not making the pitches he needed to make. And Ron Renicky was able to use him. He and Rodriguez worked out a system where he could just continue to pitch in non-pressure situations to try to work out some of the kinks. But at some point you've got to get back on the horse, and this is Rodriguez's time here.
Yeah, well, a little bit of it has to be mechanical, because part of the problems that he was having was walking batters and getting behind an count, not being able to throw his curveball for strikes. That's not a mental thing as much as it is mechanics.
It looks like he has pretty good stuff tonight. Pitchers are pretty secretive about mechanical adjustments, changes. Hitters are too, but John Axford's been in the same boat. He and Lee Tunnell have been doing a lot of work lately in the bullpen trying to fix a few things, but it's tough to actually see where the fix is. They're just hoping to see results.
Sometimes the smallest little changes can have a big effect.
Full count to Bruce. Got away with a high fastball. It was a brief time. Rodriguez was installed as the Brewers closer after John Axford had his troubles, and that did not go well for Frankie Rodriguez. Taken out quickly. Now trying to work his way back into some late inning relief. And that's the kind of pitch that's been giving K-Rod fits. I mean, that is a middle fastball that Bruce missed. Pitch number 9 of the at-bat. Into center field, slicing away from Gomez. He's able to cut it off. Bruce will stop around first. So a 10-pitch battle between Jay Bruce and K-Rod, and it ends up with a base hit that extends Jay Bruce's hitting streak to 8 consecutive games.
Yeah, once it got to 3-2, it was all fastballs by K-Rod, and Jay Bruce finally able to get one that he was able to center on and get into center field. So a leadoff single for Cincinnati. Haven't had too many leadoff base runners in this game. Matter of fact, that's only the second time.
So a man on for Ryan Ludwig. It's a 4-run Milwaukee lead, courtesy of a 4-run 6th inning. Ryan Ludwig has been on a tear since the All-Star break. His 23 RBIs are the 3rd most in the big leagues since the break. Has 7 homers, 23 runs batted in since the All-Star break.
Well, those are the kind of numbers that Brewer fans remember of Ludwig. As a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. That ball went right between his legs, didn't it?
And the whiff.
Is that Mark Grant?
It looked just like Mark Grant.
See, those off-speed pitches have been tough for K-Rod to throw for strikes. Change up, curveball. So what he's been having to do is been throwing fastballs when he's getting into a strike situation. Has to throw a strike. He's not able to throw a strike with anything other than his fastball lately. Tough way to get outs.
Into center field. Gomez is there. And there is the first out. It's a big out for K-Rod as Ludwig is retired. And it'll be Scott Rowland now. Rowland has not been retired tonight. Gallardo walked him twice and then gave up a hit to him in the 6th inning. Seen a lot of pitches in this game. K-Rod would love a ground ball here. Try to turn 2 and get out of this inning. There's a strike. With that hit in the 6th, Scott Rowland has now hit safely in 12 of his last 14 games. And a batting average pushing 400 during that stretch.
There's a good changeup. Right on the outside corner.
Toothpicks and sweatbands. A style you'll see no other big league manager sport.
And those
Good
are
block by Maldonado.
Those are special made toothpicks too.
Oh yeah?
I mean, they're long, they're extra thick. He twirls them around in his mouth. We don't recommend you do that at home. He is a professional.
Looks dangerous.
It is. Got the wristbands going. He's had a great managerial career, hasn't he?
Giants, Cubs, now the Reds. And Dusty Baker, as a player with the Dodgers, was a mentor of sorts to a young Ron Renicky, a big prospect who was promoted to the big leagues with the Dodgers. And Dusty Baker was right there to take him under his wing. Baker was already a star player at the time. Oh, that didn't miss by much.
Yeah, he hasn't been calling that all night. Bill Welke has had a very tight strike zone. Gallardo threw pitches in that location all night. So did Arroyo, and it hasn't been called once. I tell you, those are close pitches to take with 2 strikes.
Full count. Bruce at first, and Roland rips one left field line that is down, and it one hops out of here. That's probably a break for the Brewers. A ground rule double. If that hits the wall and stays in, Bruce has a good chance to score. So Bruce will have to stop at third on a ground rule double by Roland, on base for the 4th time tonight.
They've got to throw the ball down the middle apparently tonight, the way the strike zone's being called, and that's what K-Rod does. Didn't want to walk him. And Scott Rowland able to hook one down the left field line. You don't get the calls on the corners. That's what you're forced to do, throw it down the middle.
When his team needed him most, Scott Rowland, in the absence of Joey Votto, and putting up big offensive numbers. Rick Kranitz is out. The Brewers have seen this before. As Kranitz goes to the mound, Renicky gets some activity in the Brewers bullpen going. A 4-run lead, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Todd Frazier will bat. It was a pretty good bet that Francisco Rodriguez would not be a Brewer at this time of the year. The way the Brewers were going after the All-Star break, there were a lot of inquiries about him. That is a check swing, according to Chris Guccione, and it's 2-0 on Frazier.
Yeah, Ron Renicky not liking that call. Let's see it. He swung at that.
Instead of 1-1, it's 2-0. Three 3-0. Rodriguez pitched so poorly leading up to the trade deadline that there were no calls on him. There's certainly a lot of interest, teams needing bullpen help, but things have unraveled for him here lately. Ball 4. Bases loaded.
You got to start wondering to yourself when Ron Renicky feels comfortable in using K-Rod at this point. A 4-run lead, now the tying run at the plate, and he's going to go get him. That's very frustrating for the Brewers manager and K-Rod, I would imagine.
Never experienced trouble like this in his career. And these two go way back, Renicky and K-Rod, back to the Angels days. So Frankie Rodriguez will leaves the bases loaded. We'll take a break. inning, but a similar story unfolding here. Brewers fans have seen this plenty. Can they pull out of it? Bases are loaded with 1 out, and Francisco Rodriguez is out. John Axford is in. This is a save situation. Columbia St. Mary's save tracker 17 for Axford this year. And he will take over with the bases full and 1 away, and the Reds making an announcement of a pinch hitter. It's going to be Xavier Paul to pinch hit.
Well, you got 8 and 9 coming up, and John Axford has got a lot of trouble out there in the bases. He last pitched on Friday against the Cardinals. He got roughed up. Give him 3 runs, 2 of them earned in 1/3 of an inning of work. A couple of walks in there. And Xavier Paul represents the tying run.
Paul's been a good pinch hitter for Cincinnati this year. 4 for 10. Bruce, Rowland, and Frazier. Bruce and Rowland with base hits. Frazier drew the walk on 4 pitches, and the last batter that K-Rod faced. Finishing games has been a major problem for Milwaukee. They're 5 outs away from a victory here tonight. Big batter for Axford. Starts with a curveball, a good one. Axford's been working hard with Lee Tunnell down in the bullpen. Tunnell taking over for Stan Kiles as the bullpen coach. Tunnell given a lot of credit for Axford emerging as a big leaguer in the first place when the Brewers signed him out of independent ball.
Well, it has been a mechanical issue for John Axford. No doubt about that. Particularly in throwing his curveball and his slider. He threw a very good curveball to start the inning.
A ball and a strike on Xavier Paul. Two and one. It's amazing how from one year to the next things change so much. Rodriguez and Axford, as good a 1-2 punch in baseball last year after the All-Star break. Couldn't beat him. K-Rod in the 8th, Axford in the 9th.
Ball a little bit behind that last fastball from John Axford, and at 94 miles an hour, taking a little bit off just to throw strikes.
Brewers looking for that ground ball. Remember, Weeks and Segura haven't worked together until tonight. That one's ripped into right, a base hit. 1 run is in. RBI single, a pinch hit single by Paul, and it's 5-2 Milwaukee.
Left the curveball upstairs on pitch number 5 in that sequence. He got ahead with a curveball, 0-1. It was a good one, just to get me over. It was up in his zone, but so what? Then he tried to catch the inside corner with a couple of fastballs. John got the 2-1, and Paul a little bit behind a fastball that was down the middle, and finally got the base hit on a curveball that was up and in. That pitch last year was down in the dirt and a swing and a miss curveball. Not this year.
And now the Reds have the tying run aboard. The go-ahead run comes to the plate. Deanna Navarro. Navarro came in on a double switch. And it's 2-0. Two and one on Navarro. Navarro just arriving to the Reds, made his Cincinnati debut on Saturday against the Pirates. Devin Mesoraco went on the disabled list on the 7-day concussion DL. Navarro was promoted.
And John Axford looking for a ground ball here. Get that fastball down in the zone. Nowhere to put him. He's down 2-1, 3-1.
Top of the order coming up next. Axford's put himself in a hitter's count against Navarro. 5-2 Brewers. Chased one. Helped him out. And it's 3-2.
Yeah, that not even close. Up and in, and Navarro swung right through it. A little anxious, and that, at least for the time being, saves a run. That was ball 4.
Full count, 1 away. And a rip into right center. Over is Aoki, and did he get it? It is an out. He made the catch. Roland tags and scores.
Amazing.
Umpire had to wait to see if he came out with a baseball, and indeed he did. What a catch by Aoki.
Boy, that might be a game saver right there. That ball gets into the gap. It's a tie game. Wow. That's the 8th fly ball that Aoki caught tonight. And that was a big one. Another pitch out of the strike zone. And check out Aoki. Able to grab it. 1 run scores, but if that ball got by him, that's 3 runs. And we have a tie game.
What a great play by Nori Aoki in right field. The best of the night. 5-3. 2 on, 2 out now. And Zach Cozart at the plate. Waves and misses at a slider.
Well, he has made some pretty good catches tonight, but this is the best. And saving 2 runs for John Axford. Wow, nice play.
Covered a lot of ground, didn't he? Popped him up. Ricky Weeks wants it. And the inning is over. And the Brewers still have the lead. 5-3 Milwaukee as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
The bottom of the 8th inning. David Croy back with you, getting ready for Brewers Live postgame. Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. Got to look at the starting pitching tonight, and Giovanni Gallardo, 7 very strong innings against a very good offensive team.
Well, it's back-to-back good starts for Giovanni. 7 strong innings. I thought he was right on. Good fastball, but had great command of his breaking stuff.
So Yo in line for a victory. The Brewers bullpen gave up 2 last half innings. 1 more inning to go against the Reds here. How about a couple of tack-on runs? We'll see as the Brewers go to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. Full post-game reaction on the way coming from Ron Renicky and the clubhouse, as well as Brewers Live follows the ball game. Brian.
All right, Craig and Davey, thank you. And to the bottom of the 8th, it is a 2-run game, and Jose Arredondo will take over for Cincinnati. He's the guy that gets the late inning work when the Reds are down. He's been very good himself this year. A 2.66 earned run average, just par for the course on a dynamic bullpen. You see Aramis Ramirez at the plate tonight, presented by Wendy's. Milwaukee scored 4 runs in the 6th inning, 3 home runs in the inning. Ramirez and Hart went back to back, and then Maldonado had a 2-run home run.
Deanna Navarro helping out John Axford quite a bit. He did hit that ball pretty well in the gap, but he swung at ball 4 twice.
Well, the Reds were able to load the bases, but they were at the bottom of their batting order. And a couple of late replacements, the pinch hitter Xavier Paul, who drove in a run, and Navarro, who also drove in a run, but it could have been a whole lot worse. Aramis Ramirez having a nice game at the plate. Had a double in the 4th inning, and then in the 6th off Arroyo. Vaulted number 14 of the season. 2 for 3 tonight. He's now the National League leader in doubles.
He's got his average up to 294.
He's been knocking at the door at a 300 average. Amazing production for Ramirez over an extended period of time. We're talking about 2 months of baseball almost, and he's hit for a 339 batting average over his last 61 games. He has raised his average during that stretch from 218, which is where he was in mid-May, to what it is right now, 294. Under the watchful eyes of Johnny Naron.
Arredondo, when he throws strikes, he can be tough. You saw his numbers. Sometimes he can be his own worst enemy. He's got 26 walks in 44 innings to go along with only 32 hits. And he'll walk a couple, give up a hit. That's when he gives up his runs, although his earned run average is still very good.
Two and two to Ramirez. Little half swing roller. Scott Rowland, bare hands. The throw is in time. Showing that Gold Glove form. Scott Rowland. 1 gone. Ramirez retired to start the bottom of the 8th.
And doesn't have the range that he used to, but he makes this play extremely well. Coming in, bare hand pickup, and a good throw to first base. He and Ramirez very good at that play. The way he spreads out his fingers almost like a spider web. He grabs it and then makes a good throw over to first base. Check out the fingers, how wide apart they are. That gives him a lot of space with which to catch it, and then he gets rid of it quickly.
Good slider, swing and a miss. That was a great look at Scott Rowland, essentially throwing a changeup over to first base with the 4-finger grip, just as he caught it. But accurate with that. He's done it for so long, and he's been one of the premier third basemen in all of baseball during his time. 8 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, if he can get to it, you're out. Doesn't have the range that he used to, but he's still a terrific third baseman.
Former Rookie of the Year with the Philadelphia Phillies. Still at it at 37 years of age. And right to roll it again. 2 outs. Well, if you want to learn the basics of baseball, stay tuned to Brewers Live postgame as we break down the techniques and strategies of the game in our postgame instructional. What do you have up tonight, you and Davey, Rob?
And we're going to talk about that play where Jay Bruce was backing up Drew Stubbs. Stubbs got a little bit too close to the wall, but I mean, you could do that if you're a center fielder as long as you have somebody backing you up, and Jay Bruce showed pretty good hustle to get there. That was that Maldonado double.
Always anticipate, right? Even when it's not hit directly at you.
Everybody on the field has somewhere to go on every play. On a play like that, we were talking about Drew Stubbs and a double by Maldonado in right center. Everybody has somewhere to go. Even the left fielder, he's got to be creeping over toward third base in the event a throw gets away over there. If you want to watch the game, buy a ticket.
0-2 on Weeks. Through the hole, a base hit. Ricky Weeks with his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 4.
And got a slider on an 0-2 pitch and able to hit it hard in the left field. Cincinnati has given up a few 0-2 base hits in this game today.
Look at Maldonado to the plate. Last time up against Arroyo. Arroyo kept feeding him breaking balls. And Maldonado did miss the last one. A wall scraper just over the wall and out of the reach of Ryan Ludwig, number 6.
And that was an 0-2 home run. Talking about 0-2 hits.
Those are killers for a pitcher in opposition, and that was Arroyo's last hitter. Dusty Baker saw that. That was the 3rd home run of the inning. Arroyo was gone. Brewers put 5 runs on Arroyo on 10 hits. That hit by Weeks, number 11 of the game. Maldonado with 2 hits tonight, 2 runs scored, doubled in the 5th, and that home run in the 6th. Now 6 homers, 21 runs batted in. And doing all that in just 167 at-bats. Maldonado playing in his 55th game in the big leagues here today, or this season. Got a little time last year, brief stay in the big leagues last season.
You would think that this would be a pretty good opportunity for Ricky to try and steal a base. Get into scoring position. Ricky's not running much these days.
That gets away. And Weeks will roll into second base. A play that Navarro should have made.
That's a pass ball, you think.
That puts Weeks in scoring position.
Yeah, that one just got right through him. The 6th pass ball by the Cincinnati Reds this year. Brewers tied for the fewest pass balls with 3. Who do you think has the most?
Most pass balls. I'll go with the New York Mets.
Right, with the knuckleballer, they've got 20.
R.A. Dickey factor.
20 pass balls. That's the knuckleballer. Colorado with 14. That's a lot. They don't have a knuckleballer.
They got the humidor. Well, big runner to pick up at second base. Maldonado Looking for another 2-strike hit. Into right center. That ball's well hit. And that will get down. A ground rule double for Maldonado. RBI double. 6-3 Brewers. Have a night, Martin Maldonado.
Have 3 hits, all extra base hits. What a nice swing he put on that baseball. Didn't overswing. Dondo throwing a lot of sliders. Haven't seen too many fastballs, and that's a great approach by Martin Maldonado. He just got the bat out there. Nice easy swing with 2 strikes, and the ball just jumped off his bat. And because of the pass ball, Ricky able to score as the ball bounces over the fence.
Brewers get 1 of the runs back. Gave up 2 in the 8th in the top of the inning. Now Segura, who is 0 for 3, the young shortstop, making his first start for the Brewers. Segura has handled all the plays at short tonight. 0 for 3 at the plate, but he stung the last one. Garth Orge had a good call tonight. He said Segura reminds him just visually of a young Juan Samuel.
Yeah, I see that.
And Segura strikes out. So Arredondo is through the inning, but Maldonado drives in a run. It is 6-3 as we go to the 9th. Here we go to the 9th. Hanging on here at 6-3. The Brewers have the lead over the division leading Cincinnati Reds. John Axford back on the mound and trying to get the final 5 outs. It would be a 5-out save for Axford. Did allow a couple of runs in the 8th inning, those 2 belonging to Francisco Rodriguez. Axford's last successful save of 5 outs or more came back in 2010. That was September 5th when he was just breaking onto the scene. Did that against Philadelphia. Had a 2-inning save. But he just attempted a 5-out save last week against the Nationals unsuccessfully. And he'll have the heart of the order to go through. Stubbs, Phillips, and Bruce. Strike to Stubbs, 1-2 the count.
Inside corner and then outside corner. You're going to throw that breaking ball, make sure it's down in the strike zone. He's been hanging a few curveballs so far tonight. And with a slider. That's where you want it.
The first hitter such a key, especially for a struggling pitcher searching for confidence. 2-2 to Stubbs. Stubbs has a hit tonight. He singled and stole a base in the third inning. 1 for 4. A couple of strikeouts tonight for Stubbs, or one strikeout, I beg your pardon. You saw Ron Renicky go back in the tunnel. We've seen that a lot from him lately. I asked him the other day, I said, can you just not bear to watch? He goes, no, I go down and I watch the video. I watch location. I want to see where his location is.
Right.
Helps him make his decisions.
Sometimes it's hard to tell in and out. You can tell up and down from the dugout. Certainly, that's easy to do. But the guys missing on the corners, you really can't see all that well from the dugout.
There's a little room just about 10 paces behind where these two are standing that has a monitor down there. You can see, or he sees what you're seeing. Full count to Stubbs. Got him. Axford with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball strikes out Stubbs. That is a big out.
Well, he will like the location of that last pitch at 98, right on the outside corner. That's a beauty by John Axford. Can't throw it any better than that. Right on the corner, big velocity, and Drew Stubbs just waves at it.
One gone. Brandon Phillips is coming back today from a calf injury. He's 0 for 4. Phillips said he was ready to go a couple of days ago, but Dusty Baker just wanted to be extra cautious with him. He's told him not to bust it out of the box right away. And that one is foul. And you can understand why hitters are anxious. They want to get back in the lineup because every day missed, every day away from facing big league pitching sets you back a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially the kind of year Phillips was having.
And you're getting into August, and the last thing you want to do as you head into the dog days is trying to get your stroke back. Especially those leg injuries. They have a tendency to hang on and kind of linger if you don't give it enough time.
Oh, 0-2 to Brandon Phillips. Buzz the tower.
Maldonado setting up inside and up in the zone, and that's where he put it. That'll get Phillips off that outside corner a little bit. First move for Phillips is on the corner. Trying to dive to that outside corner. Might not do it here.
Maldonado back inside, and a fastball missed a little bit low. John Axford 2 outs away from a save. Came on, he got 2 outs in the 8th. Caught a break on a terrific catch by Nori Aoki. Full count to Phillips.
Yeah, got a break on a terrific catch, and he also got a break by having the hitter swing at ball 4 twice. Last thing you want to do is be walking batters in this situation. Got to throw him strikes here.
Got a 3-run lead with 1 away. And Phillips drives one to right. Aoki is right there. Out number 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. He put a 98-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. We can do that when you're throwing that hard.
So here's Jay Bruce. Axford 1 out away, and a swing and a miss. Bruce chase one. Axford's last save was on the 30th of July. Got a save against the Astros. That was number 17. In the air to left. Playable for Braun. And how about that? A 1-2-3 inning. And a very satisfying 5-out save for John Axford. The Brewers win. They beat the Reds. 6-3 final score. Giovanni Gallardo to 10 wins for the year. Axford save number 18. Much more still to come on this one. Craig Kashawn standing by. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
That's a pretty impressive win by Milwaukee Reds to come in here winning 22 of 26. Best record in baseball, and the Brewers get one tonight, 6-3. So we'll get full post-game reaction from the clubhouse, Ron Renicky as well, plus our instructional all next on Brewers Live.